All right, you guys, I'm going to go over an example of Pythagorean theorem and how to calculate with it. Basically, Pythagorean theorem, there was this cool guy named Pythagoras way back when who discovered this. He found that when we have a right triangle, if we were to actually draw squares coming off the side, all three sides of those triangles, and then if we were to find the area of each of those squares, and remember to find the area of a square, it's length times width. Since they're all the same side, really it's just a squared, b squared, and c squared. Sorry, it's hard to film this and write at the same time. Ignore my lovely makeshift whiteboard stage. I didn't feel like driving to school just to film this. All right. Anyway, Pythagorean theorem says that if we have the area of this square from the side of our triangle and the area of this square from the side of the triangle, so a squared and b squared, we can add those two together to actually get the area of the square coming off the hypotenuse. So remember, hypotenuse is the long side of the triangle, basically opposite of your right angle. So again, Pythagorean theorem says we can find the length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle by squaring the side length of the other two sides of the triangle and adding them together. So I'm going to walk through an example with actual numbers now. Give me a second to erase this. All right, so let's say I have a right triangle. We know that side A is 3 feet. We know that side B is 4 feet, and we want to know the length of side C. So first thing I'm going to do is rewrite the Pythagorean theorem formula. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. From here, I'm going to replace these numbers that I do have in order to solve for the number I don't have. We know a is 3 feet, so we're going to have 3 squared plus b, which is 4. 4 squared equals c squared. So to solve for c, first thing I'm going to do is square 3 and 4. So we know that 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, and those would equal c squared. Next step would be to add 9 and 16, which we know is 25. So 25 equals c squared. Now, that's not the actual length of side C, because this is c, not c squared. So to find the actual length of c, we would need to get rid of that square up here. To do that, we do the opposite, which is the square root. What you do on one side, you have to do to the other. So take the square root of c squared and the square root of 25. Now the square root of 25 would be 5. And the square root of c squared would simply be c. So there is the length of the hypotenuse of our right triangle, 5 squared. So you guys saw this example in some of the videos from the other day, like the water example, right? So hopefully this makes things a little more clear. If you have any more questions on calculating Pythagorean theorem, just let me know.